Yes, this is a topic that I do not think any of us will really enjoy doing, but we have to do it. Now, this is about slavery in the Caribbean. Now, Africans from West Africa, they were captured. And as you see in the picture there, they were chained and forced on slave ships. And they were taken to right across the Atlantic Ocean and sold to plantation owners in the Caribbean. And that's why most of us are here today and in other places in the Caribbean. And that's the reason why most Jamaicans are from African descent. Yes. And the journey that they took from England to West Africa to the West Indies and back to England was known as the triangular trade. It was known as the triangular trade. Let us look here and see. From England to Africa. All right, here is Africa up here somewhere. England to Africa, and then from Africa to the Caribbean, and then back to England. No, that was called the journey. The journey that the slave took was called the Middle Passage. What was it called? Middle Passage. And the route from here to here to there to there, it was called the triangular trade. So the route is the triangular trade, and the journey that they took was called the Middle Passage. All right, so don't forget that. Now let us look at this here. We can see what happened. This book here is a social studies book. Yes. So you're going to use this one to do some work for me. I'm going to ask you some questions. You're going to use this book. Look at all of what they traded, because they didn't just come like that, you know. They traded things with the Africans. And you might ask, how comes they traded with the Africans and they enslaved the Africans? Because they traded with those Africans that they call middle people or middlemen. They got all of these textiles, rum, and manufactured goods. They got all of this. In return, they what you call it now? Like they betrayed their own. They captured them and they gave them to these English people. All right? So in return, the English got slaves, and the Africans, who were middlemen, they got textiles, rum, and manufactured goods. So they were the one who double-crossed their own and gave them over for textiles, rum, and manufactured goods, because they needed them and they didn't have those. But I mean, it was a price that these slaves had to really pay, and that was very hard. So the slaves now, they went and in the Caribbean here, Caribbean region, they worked on plantations, and this was what they produced. The sugar cane, tobacco, and cotton, and it was shipped off to Europe. Same English people them. All right. So that's why it looks like a triangle here. So these English people, they came to Africa, got the slaves, the Africans. They were enslaved then, but they took them, enslaved them over here in the Caribbean, make them work on plantations, let them work on plantations, and then whatever they planted and thing, it was reaped and sold back to England, and that's how they made a lot of money with these black people that they enslaved. All right, so I'm going to show you a picture, another picture of the Middle Passage. This one doesn't really look like a triangle, but remember, it's going to start from here, come down to here, and you might get it in a test to draw. So it starts from here, come down to here. Remember, here is Africa, up there is Europe, where you find the English. Okay, so come down here and then back to the Caribbean. All right, so I'm drawing the triangle for you, back to the Caribbean and back to England. All right, so there you have, that's why it is called the triangular trade, because it looks like a triangle. All right, so this is the book now that you can also use. Apart from the one I just showed you, you can also use this one when I give you the questions. I'm going to ask you, what did the English trade with the Africans for slave? And these are all of the things that you have listed right here. See there? Coming from here to all these African countries, these are the things that they traded. What did they trade them for? African. Enslaved Africans. All right? And they took them right there. Right here is the Caribbean region. And they worked here, produced rum, molasses, cotton, sugar, and all of that. And all of these things went right back to Europe. Remember, European countries, Europe is a very, very big place, of a whole lot of different countries there. So there you go. So this is the triangular trade. All right, so please be prepared to answer the questions, and make sure you watch those videos too, the ones that I sent from YouTube.